California is resorting to drastic measures tonight to combat its severe drought.
We're at the bottom of a reservoir. We should be 30 feet underwater here. Instead, these are the conditions.
Desperate times call for desperate measures. And to solve this ecological disaster, the most wealthy nation in the world may have to turn to someone they have been persecuting for hundreds of years. A nocturnal, semi-aquatic rodent. The humble beaver. Beaver are amazing. These large aquatic animals are one of the biggest rodents on Earth, growing up to 1.2 meters in length and weighing up to 30 kilos. And unusually for rodents, just like us, these romantic critters usually mate for life. But these aquatic engineers are most famous for their dam-building skills. They work tirelessly, felling trees and cutting branches in order to dam up rivers and create huge pools of water. And it is these water-saving abilities that one small team of maverick scientists are hoping to harness. They believe that if they can control the beaver and direct the water they store, then these eco-engineers could become one of the most important tools in their fight against the drought.
Someone tells you, oh, beaver might be able to help with this climate change problem, you kind of chuckle and laugh and go, oh yeah, that's neat, that's cute. But then when you actually start looking at the thousands of dams that could be fit, then suddenly it doesn't seem like such a preposterous suggestion.
Nick's theory is that the current method of building huge dams to deal with water shortage issues isn't working, and he's got a solution.
We believe that rather than having one large structure that has huge impacts to the ecosystem, we have thousands of small beaver ponds that they maintain that have benefits to the native ecological functions in that area.
We like to think of ourselves as pretty experienced, pretty good engineers, and again, this is an engineer that has at least 40 to 50,000 years on us in terms of experience.
So exactly how do scientists think beaver can help? It is their propensity for dam building, which is how. With the right help, they might just save the city. As beavers dam up rivers, they store huge amounts of water behind their dams. This soaks into the surrounding land and raises the water table. If enough beaver were introduced throughout the western United States, they could help keep a huge amount of water on the land, decreasing water use for things like agriculture and livestock, and in doing so, save huge amounts of water. Water that Las Vegas desperately needs. But just how has one of the most important cities in the wealthiest nation on the planet reached the point where the taps are about to run dry? As the effects of global warming change the way weather operates, droughts, floods, hurricanes, and snowstorms are becoming more frequent, more severe, and more prolonged. And we're struggling to adapt. Unfortunately for Las Vegas, the city was built right in the middle of the Mojave Desert. And its precarious position has led to some real resource issues. It's a metropolis that's rapidly running out of water.
There's a drought in western United States, and it's a real problem.
I know we're in a drought and everyone's always freaking out and we never have rain, and you know, the grass is always really dry.
The street signs like light up and say save water, like there's a drought.
Well, we're only allowed to water 2 days a week.
You can't wash your cars anymore.
You can't wash your cars.
America's most decadent destination has been engaged in a potentially catastrophic gamble with nature. And now, more than a decade into devastating drought, it's on the verge of losing it all. One of the city's biggest concerns is that it's chanced everything on one roll of the dice, relying almost completely on a single source for all its freshwater needs.
90% of Las Vegas's water comes from Lake Mead. The drought that has caused this bathtub ring here in Lake Mead began 14 years ago, and increasingly scientists believe we may be in the middle of a mega drought.
And things are only getting worse.
Governor Jerry Brown had to resort to giving this advice in Los Angeles.
Don't flush more than you have to.
The amount of water that has already been lost from Lake Mead is staggering. It's a stark contrast to only a few decades ago. This was Hoover Dam, which created the lake, filmed in the 80s. Completed in 1935, it's more than 200 meters tall. At its base, it's more than 200 meters wide, and it weighs more than 6.6 billion tons. A dam any beaver would be proud of. Huge overspill passages, large enough through which to fit a double-decker bus, were included in its construction for times of high flow. But they haven't been used in decades.
When I lived down here, we water skied Lake Mead, and where you can see the water line all the way around, that's how high the lake used to be.
In general, people think it's green, so there's no water problem, but there is serious problems.
Coming here and seeing just the lines and the erosion and the marks on the mountainside, it's astonishing. It's scary, too.
Over the past 15 years, as the city's population has grown from 400,000 to 2 million, Lake Mead has slowly been drained of 15 trillion liters of water and is now under half full. Looking at the scale of this global warming disaster, it's difficult to believe that the water-saving powers of a few beaver could make any difference at all. But some scientists believe that by emulating nature's greatest engineers, they might just have a chance.
One way we deal with, say, water storage issues or water shortage issues is to store water behind large dams, big dams, and these dams can be very, very expensive to build.
Instead, beavers build resilience into systems by having redundancy and having lots of little dams. And so it's a much more, say, diverse investment portfolio than, than, say, the Bureau of Reclamation or Army Corps of Engineers that likes to put all their eggs in one big basket.